find that a lot of times if I don't hold myself accountable in some way, I end up failing. And it doesn't matter how great my intentions are, or even sometimes how big and important my why is. If I don't have something holding me accountable, I manage to always figure out a way to fail. Hey everybody, it's Katerina with Meat Fuel Living, and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been such a long time since I've actually been on here doing some, I can see that reflection from my glasses, I apologize. It's been quite a while since I've actually been on here doing one of my regular check-ins like I used to do. Back when I started the Carnivore Diet back in July of 2023, every week I was doing a check-in. Every week I was doing a weigh-in, showing some pictures and just kind of talking about my week, how things had been going, what I did good that week, what I struggled with that week, that kind of stuff. I just really was very consistent about that, and it was helping keep me on track. I've been getting a lot of comments on my videos saying, hey, you need to bring this back. We really miss it, and we really liked, checking in with you and hearing how you're doing and, what kind of things you've been going through. So here I am again. I'm going to go ahead and start this back up in hopes that I can get back on track and hold myself accountable the way that I used to. And yeah, we're just going to talk about a lot of different stuff today. Here we go again. We're going to start out with my weekly check-ins. And I have all of my notes. You know me, I keep my notes, but I'm going to tell you part of the reason why I've been failing on my journey lately is because I misplaced my notebooks, and I'm a creature of habit, and unfortunately, that made it very difficult for me when I would try to, again, hold myself accountable, but not having my comfort notebook, which sounds crazy, I know. So we're going to go ahead and start back in July of 2023. I started my carnivore journey, 235 pounds at that time. When I first started weighing myself, I was higher than that, but I was too afraid to step on the scale for the first couple weeks that I was doing it. So who knows what I actually was, but once I started documenting it, I was 235 pounds. I was a whole food plant-based vegan, and so for me, it was a really, really stark and uncomfortable transition into the carnivore way of life. But if you followed any of my videos, then you know that my health conditions were really bad. My health was just deteriorating very rapidly. The weight was going up. I had no energy. I was dealing with, I'm not even going to list off all of the health conditions that I was dealing with. You can see those in other videos. But I had become such a burden to myself, my family, my friends, everything, that I literally just didn't want to go on anymore. And I know that that is a very sobering thing to hear somebody say, but I felt so worthless and so hopeless that there just wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel for me, I guess is what I would say. I had a doctor's visit not much longer after I lost my mother, who was my best friend, who I was very close to. She passed away in what I consider to be a very young age. She was only in her 70s. She had a lot of health conditions and things like that that I oftentimes think back and wonder that if we could have got her on the carnivore diet, if that would have changed. But there's nothing to be done about that anymore. It's just that happened, and I was spiraling really out of control. Um, I went to a doctor's visit, just a regular doctor's visit. And at that doctor's visit, I begged her to help me because they had told me the most recent diagnosis, my cholesterol, triglycerides were in the 800s. I was pre-diabetic. My blood pressure was high, and I was on medicine for that. And then she said that I was insulin resistant. and to try to put me on Ozempic, Wegovy, one of those. Well, actually, it was Ozempic that she wrote me a prescription for, but I didn't fill it. I'm actually quite terrified of that drug, but uh, I decided at that time that I was going to go ahead and do the one thing that I could do. My little boy came out, found me crying. It just was a big mess. Again, that story you can hear in one of my previous videos. But I researched insulin resistance because I knew it was the one thing that I could change with diet. I never started the carnivore diet for weight loss, although it was a happy accident. It was never my intent. So that being said, as I was doing these weigh-ins and these check-ins and stuff like that, I had a lot of people telling me in conversations, in groups and things like that, to stop weighing myself, throw the scale away. It's not important. You need to stop doing that. This isn't what matters. It's, getting your health back and all of these things. And I don't want to say that I succumbed to peer pressure, but it kind of was like that. I kind of stopped focusing on those things and started focusing on, the health benefits that I was experiencing from the carnivore diet. This reduction in my GERD symptoms, my IBS symptoms were getting better. My anxiety, though, is still not gone, but I felt like I was able to deal with very anxious situations better. Just a lot of these things, I was feeling better. Some of my aches and pains were going away. I just, and those were all really great things. And I wanted to focus on those, and they seemed to be what mattered to everybody. So I stopped doing my weekly check ins because I felt, I don't know, some kind of way. Every time I got on the scale and posted those videos, I would have these naysayers. And some of them would be in the carnivore community, some of them would be people watching my videos, just telling me that I'm focusing on the wrong things. So I stopped doing that. And then I misplaced my books. Why even use them? Because I was so in depth about, I was putting everything. I mean, this is me when I started taking pictures, and I started putting like everything that I was eating. And initially, I wasn't strictly carnivore. Initially, I was eating things like asparagus and things, just stuff like that. And every day, I would log everything, including the steps that I took, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it was just every day. And people were telling me that I was, don't count macros, don't do this, don't do that. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't need to. I can just eat whatever I want meat wise. The weight was falling off, everything was going swimmingly. The problem was the problem was that things were going swimmingly. The weight was falling off like it was nobody's business, right? Like I started out, I ended up losing 47 pounds, but then gained some back, but that's going to be a story further in. And I apologize if this is rambly and going in circles. I did not script this. I'm just talking to you as things occur to me. So if this is rambly or really long, I'm going to apologize, but we're just going to have a real conversation. Mm. Anyways, I put these books away. I stopped using them, stopped tracking anything. I stopped checking my ketones because every single time I checked them, I was always in ketosis, although very low. I might add, I'm never what had been one of those way up there in the ketones kind of thing. Then I stopped doing all of this. And then, I would have an occasional slip up, especially with dairy. I would start really struggling getting the dairy in there. But again, if you go back to any of my previous videos, you know that I was a sugar addict, and my constant binge restrict cycle of trying to diet through all of these years, along with my very addictive way of being, I really struggled with the sugar, and dairy becomes very addicting for me at times. So I did a lot of seesawing for a while. And then things just seemed kind of plateau for me. I was kind of just eating always the same things. And then I wasn't losing any weight anymore, but that was okay because I was still feeling really good. And then Thanksgiving came, and that was good. Thanksgiving was fine. I had just a couple bites of a few things. I didn't feel good after I ate them. I had no desire to eat anything again after that. Then Christmas came, and here's where all of my problems started. Christmas came and all of my family came. And again, if you know my story, I moved back out to Colorado. We lived here before for a little bit of time, and we're from Texas. And I came back out here with my two boys, and my husband stayed in Texas. And that's a story for another time. But I came out here, my daughter is out here, and my grandson is out here. And so I was very excited about being able to see them. Family had become really, really important to me after losing my mom. Um, and I just really missed having them close by. So I moved out here with the boys in November. And then, like I said, everybody came for Christmas. Everybody, all my family showed up. And it was just this really, really great time, all this food, and I did really, really good for Christmas dinner. I barely ate anything that wasn't carnivore, and I felt like I had nailed this. I was really doing the thing. And then everybody left at the same time. They all just left. And I, in the past, was a comforter with food. Um, just food just was a thing for me. So um, they left some pies in the refrigerator. And they were supposed to take them with them, but they didn't have enough room in their cooler and they left them in the refrigerator. And what I should have done was throw those pies away, take them straight out to the garbage and not have them in the refrigerator. But I have two teenage boys here. And then my daughter comes to visit because she lives right down the street. My grandson comes to visit. So there's a lot of times food in this house that is not carnivore. Actually, all the time there's food in this house that's not carnivore because, well, I have family that comes over that is not carnivore. And so, anyways, it was really sad and I was kind of moping around and I walked out into my kitchen and I opened the drawer and I saw the pie, one of the pies, and then I closed the drawer. And then I caught myself going back out there again and like, you know what? I never tried the pie. Let me just try a sliver of this pie. And no, there's something wrong with me up here, and I hadn't been eating sugar. I haven't been having any issues with sugar. I do use a small, very small amount of stevia, but it has never made me crave sugar. I've never. But I took a bite of that pie, and that bite led to another, and to another, and to another, and to another. And the whole time in my mind, I was thinking to myself, stop doing this. Don't do this to yourself. Don't stop this. This is, you know what you're doing. But I couldn't stop. I ended up eating what was left of the pie. Now, mind you, it wasn't a whole pie, but still, it was more than a slice. And so that was the start of my downfall. I told myself I wallowed in it. At that point, I did what you should never do. And I said, well, I've already screwed the pooch, so let me just continue to screw the pooch the rest of the way until all this food is gone. And then a couple days later, I'm like, no, I'm just going to throw this all away. And I did. And I decided I'm going to get back into meal prepping because that's how I was successful. And I did. And every Sunday I would meal prep. And I even have several videos where I have filmed myself that I never posted um, because I couldn't even bring myself to post videos. I had become so ashamed of myself. I wasn't being active on really other people's channels. I wasn't because I was embarrassed because I went from um, I have to look and see what my actual weight loss really was. So I was down to about 189 there for a while. That was how low I had gotten. It was about 47 pounds total from when I started. I'm back up to 202 pounds. That's how much weight the last time I went to the doctor that I put back on. And so I am embarrassed, humiliated. I didn't want to film this video. Now, 188 was the lowest that I got, and then I would put some on, take some off, put some on, and that happens a lot. And there was a few times where for a while there, I hovered around 192, 193 for the longest time. If it was around that time of the month, 194. But that's kind of where I stayed. I plateaued at. So I went from that back up to 202. And that's where I was the last time I weighed myself. And I'm actually too afraid to get on the scale right now and even know what it is. And that's humbling and embarrassing because I just couldn't get off that roller coaster that happened over Christmas. And I would start back on, and then something would happen, and I would go grab some of the kids' fruit snacks or whatever. And I couldn't figure out why this time had become so hard for me. Why was I struggling so much when I had come off a vegan diet last time and could barely stomach the smell of meat, let alone, eat it. But this time it was so hard for me, and it didn't matter what I did. I continued to fail. I became so embarrassed and humiliated that I didn't want to tell you guys. I didn't want to get on here and film a video. I didn't want to, I just didn't. I just didn't want to let anybody down because all of these people out there are talking about how seamless it is, how mindless. And for a while there, it was like that for me. For a while there, I was able to just, go have some bacon, and it was so easy. It was so easy. And I was telling you all how easy it was. But you know what? It's not easy. And I'm not lying. I didn't lie to you. It was at the time, it was such a seamless thing for me. There was no thought to it, but something happened and I spiraled out of control and wasn't able to recover myself. And I think I figured out what it was. It was because I stopped tracking. I stopped writing everything down. I get it. For some people, that's what you do. You just eat, you don't think about it, you just do it, and that works for you. But for somebody like me with unmedicated ADHD, pretty bad, I might add, and who has anxiety and things like that, I took away my comfort. I took away the things that I needed to be successful. Yes, weighing yourself every week might not be the smartest things to do. Tracking all of your stuff might not be the best thing for you. But they were the tools, the comfort, the security blanket that I was using. It was here when I looked, the numbers didn't lie. Me writing about how I felt or how that food made me feel, those didn't lie to me. Those were always there. And when I felt like whatever, I would look back and I'd say, okay, well, I did this and I did this. And I would look at this picture and I would look at that and say, oh, ugh, and these measurements, I would look at them and I would say, yes, this is working. And it would give me this motivation. And my why is not to lose weight. And my why was not any of those things. My whys were to get healthy. But the tools that were getting me there were these things. And I put them away because I let other people make me feel. No, I made myself feel. I allowed myself to feel that way. I allowed their words to get into my head. I know what I need as a coping strategy for my disabilities and the way that I feel. I know that that's what I need to do. And so I tore apart the house until I could figure out where these had got put to, because this is what I need. And I picked it up and I'm starting again. I'm starting again almost as if I'm starting from scratch, because while I'm not 235 pounds, I'm over 200 pounds again. My body hurts everywhere. I'm getting headaches. I'm mentally not strong. I'm mentally back into the same place that I was when I started, or pretty darn near. And I'm hoping that, I can pick it back up and everything goes really well and things are going to fall back into place for me. I'm eating meat now, so that part is really, really nice. It's just unfortunate that I'm also eating other stuff too. Um, so anyways, that long story, that's how I've been doing. That's where we're at. And I'm going to start going back to the weekly check-ins. I'm going to talk about my weight. I'm going to talk about what I ate this week. I'm going to talk about the things like right now, the things that I've been going through, whether they're good or they're bad. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what I'm doing to cope, because I'm not strong like everybody else, it seems. And I'm not I don't recover quite as easily as so many people out there. And so that's what I'm recording this for. Because if you're like me, if you're watching everybody, and the carnivore community are amazing, amazing people. I love they are all just so wonderful. But for some people, they're just so uplifting and just so motivating, and just listening to them speaking stuff, I sometimes feel like, yes, this person is just, almost as if I'm not doing the right thing because I'm not having those results. And you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm doing this journey on my terms. And if somebody else can get through it by being positive and whatever, that's great. If somebody else can get through it by their coping strategies, but those don't work for me, that doesn't mean that my journey is any less valid, I guess you could say. This is electrolytes, guys. This is the Element peppermint. Well, I have it right here with just a dash of heavy whipping cream in it. It's so good. I get. I'm not sponsored at all by Element. I wish I was. Element, if you're listening, no. But I ordered one final pack of this, this winter one. I love, I'm drinking too much coffee. I drink so much coffee. And sometimes it's just so much. I love the insides of the boxes. Stay salty. I normally get the really big packages, but I just couldn't afford it this time. I got my little sticker. They're all over my everywhere. But I love this holiday one that they come out with. I oftentimes want something hot to drink. It's just like a cozy, warm hug in a cup. But the coffee, it's just too much. So I got back into. I was doing these fairly often in the past, but back to those. So, anyways, so we're going to talk now about some of the things that I've eaten this last week. I want to talk about that. I haven't been doing any activity, so we're not going to really talk about the activities that I've been doing. I am getting ready to start a gym program with my daughter. I haven't started that yet. So this last week, no activity for me. I got some notes here, so I'm sorry. If you know, you know. So yeah, so electrolytes, I've been coming back to those. I had stopped doing electrolytes for the longest time. I'm going to show you a few things that I've had for breakfast. Most of the time, I don't eat breakfast. I usually do like a lunch and a dinner, and sometimes just a dinner. But I've been doing a few different things. Bacon and eggs is always a standby meat, but it'll be oftentimes a lunch. I've been really into making chaffles of different varieties. I've tried pepperoni and cheese. I made chicken patty chaffles. A few of those I had a lamb roast I did one time. I've done chaffles numerous times. I've made another version of my egg wraps so that I could do like some breakfast burritos. I've done a couple of those. A pork belly. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my stuff here because again, this is not scripted. I'm just kind of going with this. But I've done pork belly, and I will show these so that you can kind of see. I've done a lot of coffee. I've also did some steakums wrapped in an egg life wrap. That's kind of my meals for the week. I kind of wanted to talk about your mindset and where you're at. I know there's always a really big push for your why and how important it is, but I think that there's not enough talk. Oh, look at these. You guys, I did the pear eyewear, and I don't know if you can see these. They're mushroom. No, this one is the Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland. I love these things, but there's just not been enough emphasis on, yes, this is your why, but you also have to have tools. And for some people, meal prep is enough. For some people, meal prepping your meals for the week and having those snacks, which for the record, those are very handy for me as well. I do need those. But it's not just about my why, and I wish that I could say that it was, because that would make everything so much easier. But for me, I have to have something holding me accountable. If I'm really craving something and I really just need something to do with myself, I'm a big crocheter. I've been working on, you probably can't see, but I'm making a blanket with Monstera leaf and they're all different colors. I've been working on that. I knit. I don't have anything to show you knit wise. Sometimes when I'm having like a really bad day, you guys, I can't do anything. But I don't know what that's called, but it's like some kind of paralysis where you just can't do anything. You're actually so overstimulated or stressed out or whatever that I will just park myself on my rocking chair. I'll crochet. I might watch some TV. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll read. I'm a big reader. The current thing that I'm reading right now, I'm actually listening to it in Audible, is this series. You know what it is. I have the books back here, but I've been listening to it. What is it? A Court of Mist and Fury. On my Audible, I've been listening to it while I crochet, but I do have the paper books because I absolutely love to open a book and smell the pages. And I've been finding that I either have to crochet or read, and I can't do both. So I've been listening to the Audible books of those, which I don't like the narrator. Vera. I don't like that. They're a perfectly good narrator. I just laugh every time she does that. So, anyways, let's just again talking a little bit more. As for drinking coffee, electrolytes, and I do the bubbly water. Sometimes I'll do the Topo Chico. I do like the Topo Chico, but I've been kind of into the bubbly because I like the different flavors. And I think that's really kind of all I wanted to cover, just kind of talking about what I do and talking about how this last week has been going, what kind of things am I going through right now. I don't know if you want to call them hurdles because they're not always hurdles, sometimes they're good things. And the things that I'm doing to cope with those situations when they're bad, or sometimes even when they're good. I mean, sometimes you can be overstimulated even in a good way, but that's it. So, anyways, as I was saying earlier, we're gonna start doing this check in. And if there's anything that you want me to talk about, anything that you're curious about, put it in the comments down below. Do you still want to see the pictures that I used to post when my husband used to do my measurements? My daughter can do them for me now. Do you want to see those, or are you more like just interested in are you more interested in just my weight? I have a picture that I took. So I've gained a bunch of the weight back. But I have this picture of me wearing a pair of pants that I was wearing, back in July that was very tight on me. And granted, they were much bigger months ago. I wish I would have got a picture then, but I'll post a picture of that as well, showing you even after gaining all the way back up to 200, I mean, these pants are still big on me. And like now this shirt, it's tight, right? This is like, what is that, fat guy in a little coat? But like my old Star Trek t-shirt, because I'm a Trekkie. I'm a Trekkie. But I can get into it. And is it a little tight in my armpits? Yes, it is. And do I have some love handles over here? For sure, I do. But I can get it on, and I didn't used to be able to get it on before. So I put it on because it is pretty tight, and I wanted you to be able to see my stomach and all that when I took a picture of the jeans, because I took the picture today, just now, before I did this video, to post so that you could see what I look like currently. But do you want to see those measurements? Do you just want to get the weight? Do you want to know what I ate? Do you want to see other routines? Tell me what it is that you want. And in my weekly videos, I'm going to start trying to post every Sunday. I know this is going to come on before or after Sunday, but I'm going to try to post every Sunday, kind of like I said, where I'm at, how things have been going, what I've been eating, any ups, any downs, anything to know my weight. And then, hey, let's talk about books. Let's talk about whatever, because that's the thing right now. It seems like every video that I watch, somebody's talking about what they're reading. And I love that because I'm an avid reader. So that's really awesome. But anyways, I know I rambled on and on and on. I apologize again. This is not scripted, like I said, so it's kind of like all over the place, but this is reality. This is me. If you're new here, I'm sorry that this is the video that you saw, but this is how it is. Thank you for watching. I hope that you consider subscribing, liking, comment, sharing. Absolutely interact, because I love to see that. it also helps to get this word out because there are people out there that this is not an easy road for, and I'm one of those people. And if you want to share that journey with me, come on in, let's sit down, let's have a talk, let's have some coffee, let's have some electrolytes, let's just do this together. But if you've been here for a while and you've been supporting me on on this journey, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I have a couple die-hard supporters that are always there for me. I love you dearly. I've made some really amazing friends in this community, and I absolutely positively don't regret anything. And I thought I would, getting on here in my underwear showing pictures of myself, but it has been a really great journey. So if you've been here with me this whole time, I really appreciate you. And, until next time, don't forget to eat your meat.